Hey, I'm Sam, and I'm very excited to be showing you a brand new plugin from Positive Grid, and that's Bias X. Now, this is not just another guitar plugin. This is literally an AI-powered platform that helps take the idea from your head and craft the exact tone that you're imagining. And honestly, it works faster than anything I've ever used before to get the exact tone that I want. It's honestly amazing. So all of us guitarists know that we have this idea of the perfect tone in our head, but when it comes to actually making that tone a reality, it can often be a laborious process. But Bias X is incredible. So you can input a prompt and it will take the idea from your head and create the exact sound that you're looking for. It's honestly amazing. So simply put, it's about going from an idea to an incredible sound instantly. So in this walkthrough, I'm going to take you through what's included in Bias X, including the amps, cabs, and effects, and more importantly, the revolutionary new AI assistant and how it can streamline your workflow, speed up the process, and get your creative ideas out there quicker than ever before. So those of you familiar with Bias FX, for example, will recognize the way that the interface is laid out here. So you got your signal chain here, right in the middle. Everything's kind of redesigned graphically, so everything looks a lot more sleek. The way some of these amps look as well is honestly a really cool visual touch and makes everything just look and feel a lot more high-end and premium. You can configure this however you want here. So here on the left-hand side, you got your gear dashboard, you got all your amps here. These are the high gain ones, but if I wanted a mid-gain or a crunch, here are those, and low gain clean here as well. So in total, there are 33 fully modeled amps and 63 responsive effects. It's also worth noting that Bias X comes with a little indicator so you can monitor your CPU usage right in the top right hand corner here, which is really useful if you're running a lot of different plugins at the same time in a mix, let's say, or you're just kind of doing a lot of things on your machine at the same time. So it's just really useful to know how much of your CPU you're using at any one time. So that is a really useful feature. Also comes with the ability to create dual signal chains. So what that means is all you need to do here. So here you've got your signal path here, compressor, drive, amp, blah, 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 for example. If you click this little button here, you'll create a dual signal chain. So you can sort of hear how that, it will sort of thicken everything up. And also you can sort of use two different amps at the same time. So it just gives you yet another opportunity to further customize your sound. So it just give you a taste of how that sounds. So here is the sort of just single path, one amp. And then if you double it, well, if you create a dual signal chain, that's obviously using the same amp, but then I can click on this one, swap it out for something else. Then you can also dive into any one of these parameters here and tweak them. So again, just incredibly customizable. You can have so much fun. The combinations with, all the amps that are available here, over 30 amps, means there's kind of endless possibilities for creativity. Now I'm going to take you through the AI assistant in a minute, which is obviously the core feature of Bias X. But first of all, I'm going to take you through what makes Bias X sound so real in comparison to the amp and effects counterparts that they're modeled on. Now it all starts with a next-gen sound engine rebuilt from the ground up, with an ultra-responsive DSP core capturing dynamic range and all of your subtle playing nuances with lifelike precision. Bias X also features real-time saturation modeling. So the amp circuits, preamps, and effects respond like their analog counterparts, rich, responsive, and harmonically complex. Elsewhere, the effects included are trained on vintage analog gear to replicate that classic non-linear behavior and dynamic interaction. And I've got to say, when I'm trying this, I can definitely notice this. It's especially noticeable in the overdrives, delays, and reverbs. It's worth noting that Bias X is also optimized for modern systems with top quality audio and ultra-low latency, and seamless CPU performance even when you're dealing with complex signal chains. So let's take a little closer look at the Bias X interface. This is basically your creative command center where your tone is about to come to life. So as you can see, the interface is pretty simple, which makes it very easy to understand, which is obviously a good thing. Here on the left-hand side, if you hit this gear button, here's where you get all of your amps, cabs, effects, and you can drag and drop these into the signal path as you wish, basically. So right now, this preset's called First Light, which this is the first one that loads up. So you've got all these amps here, and here's the drop downs here. So you've obviously got all your low gain and clean options, mid gain crunch, and then your high gain distortion as well for the more rocky and metal ones amongst you. So let's say I wanted to swap out this clean amp for something a bit more heavy. Let's go for this one here. So there's quite a lot of noise here based on my thing. So I'm just going to turn on the noise gate here and just get it to a point that's a bit more subdued. Right, that sounds pretty good straight off the bat. That's literally just the amp and cab, but then obviously we've also got the cabs are matched to the amps, so generally the one that's loaded up when you load up an amp is the perfect one for that, but you can also swap out the cabs if you like, just like that. So there's obviously all these different options there, all these different permutations of amp and cab combos, which you can just play with. There's obviously a cab, like I say, that's optimized to each amp. But if you play with some of the cabs that are available and you can just kind of create your own options, you might find the perfect tone for you. So let's say I wanted to go for a bit more of a cleaner or slightly crunchy sound, slightly less overdriven. So I'll go back here and go to my sort of, what should we go for? Go for this first one, the American series Blackface 63. There's all these different effects here. So you got your dynamics here, noise gate and compressors and stuff like that. You got your EQs, your filters, pitch, boost, distortion, basically all the effects you'll ever need to create the perfect sound. So let's say I wanted to just overdrive this slightly. I'm going to take this sort of tube screamer emulation. There you go. Now you can hear the tone is starting to dirty up a little bit. So it's also worth noting that any one of these amps, cabs, or effects, you can tweak it. You can dive in and tweak all of the parameters. It is super, super seamless. You just click on any of those. You can adjust the volume, bass, middle, treble, or any of the parameters that exist on any of these units. So it's incredibly customizable. See if I wanted to add a delay, digital delay right there. So like I say, there's all these different amps, cabs, and effects that you can play with. Here's the signal chain here. You can just drag and drop any one that you like. And you can basically just create any signal path you like with all of these amps, cabs, and effects that are available. So like I say, it's incredibly customizable. You've also got a bunch of presets here if you just want to dive in and just try something. Here you got your basic ones that Positive Grid are very kindly designed for you guys as soon as you open it up. Gain stuff that we like, obviously. Here's where you click on the left-hand sidebar. Here's this little button here. That is your AI access. We're going to get to that in a minute. This is obviously the core feature of Bias X. But just to round off the interface here for you, you've also got a number of global controls here in the bottom. So you've got your input and output levels here. These are adjustable. And then you've also got your global noise gate here. You can toggle on and off. And then just adjust accordingly to your input signal, basically. You've also got a tuner down here as well. All you need to do is just toggle that on. And then you've also got a doubler here at the bottom for an instant stereo spread, or if you just want to thicken up your sound. So here's where Bias X really genuinely blows my mind. I haven't seen this done before, and I genuinely think this is going to be revolutionary for the guitar world. So here is your AI assistant from within Bias X. So here you've got your little chat window here, right at the bottom here, input your tone, spark your inspiration. So basically any prompt that you can think of, you just type it right in here and it will spit out a signal chain, which is perfect for what you're looking for, or at least a very good starting point, which then you can tweak the parameters once you get them within all of the units which I showed you previously. So this works principally in two ways. Firstly, it's text to tone. So basically type right here whatever you're thinking in your head and it will generate a signal chain close to what you're looking for. Alternatively, you've also got the option to attach an audio file here and it will listen to whatever song or riff that you put in there and it will match that tone in seconds. It's honestly amazing. Not sure how it works. I'm not going to ask. I'm just very happy that this exists because this is speeding up my creative workflow already massively. So let's say I'm after sort of an 80s hair metal lead tone with a gated delay, let's say. So literally just type that in here. Give me an 80s lead tone with a gated delay. Think hair metal. Boom. There you can see dialing it in here. So Bias X is thinking based on my prompt and it's about to spit out exactly what I'm after. Here we go. Right, and there you go. There you have it. So arena ready 80s lead tone, sustaining mids, bright top end, rhythmic gated delay repeats that cut sharply for clarity. Let's give this a go. I was after an 80s lead tone with a gated delay. It's just giving it to me there in seconds. 10, 20 seconds that took. And how long does it usually take to craft the perfect tone? A lot longer than that. So I'm saying here, give me a sparkly clean tone, make it compressed. And then let's just try another example here. So let's say I was after sort of a bluesy tone with a bit of overdrive. Give me a bluesy tone, slightly overdriven, but not too much. Also, you should note that you can use the AI to further tweak your sound. So if you ask the AI to create a particular tone, for example, and it's not quite where you want it, you can give it more prompts after it gives you the first result, and it will refine what it's giving you. So just to put that into context here, let's give that a go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the AI window here, and I'm going to say, give me a thick, high gain tone for metal. Right, here we go. Let's take a look at what it's giving me. So I really like that sound. It's got great potential, but it's not quite where I want it yet. It's kind of a bit quiet even. So for my personal taste, I think maybe the fuzz is a little too much there, or the drive is kind of a bit too much. So what we need is slightly less fuzz so we can hear the clarity and the sound more, and then a bit more volume as well so we can hear it better. So I'm just going to tell the AI to do that basically. So here we go. So I like it, but make it less fuzzy and louder. Right, let's see what it does. So that's definitely, you know, it did what I said. So it's made it slightly louder there and dialed back the fuzz a little bit. I'm going to say dial back the fuzz even more, but then let's say I wanted to add a reverb to it. I can just ask the AI to do that. So reduce the fuzz even more and add a subtle reverb. So here's where we were before this last prompt. Right now. Yep, it's done exactly what I've asked it to there. So it's reduced the distortion even more, made it even tighter. And then it's added a little subtle reverb. So you can hear that tail kind of coming in at the end. So now I'm going to show you the second way that the AI assistant works within BiasX, audio to tone. So what that means is rather than type a prompt here, you can click this little attach button here. You'll recognize that from the paperclip, little paperclip symbol. Click that. And then find an audio file that you would like to, with a guitar tone that you'd like to recreate. I've got this one here. It's quite a nice guitar tone there, kind of like slightly distorted, not too much. So I'm going to try and recreate that one basically. So what I'm going to do is attach that. That's there. And then you just press go. Okay, now, so it's going to give me, it says, which part of the track do you want to recreate? So I want the first 10 seconds there because that's when you can really hear the riff. So here's some presets. It's not too far away actually, to be fair. I think that's if I put it in the neck pickup. It's actually pretty close. It's got that really close, just literally just using the audio example. So I'm going to say, so I think that's really, that preset one is great for me. So I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to up the distortion slightly because I think it needs a tiny bit of distortion to sound even more like it. So keep it the same, but add slightly more distortion. That sounds almost identical. That's actually incredible. So it's literally as simple as that. Attach a track with the guitar sound that you want to emulate, and it'll give it to you right away. It's incredible. So that's just scratching the surface of what the BiasX AI assistant can do. But moving on, I'm now going to take you through a little bit of a deep dive of all of the amps, cabs, and effects that are included within BiasX. So you can just swap any of these out. Just throw any of these in. But then obviously, so these are all the high gain ones, so that's just one. That's just some of the high gain ones there. Let's just dive down a little bit, or up, into some of these clean ones. You got this American Series Blackface 63. I just love how kind of warm that sounds. And every amp has been visually and sonically reimagined using Positive Grid's all-new DSP engine that genuinely feels alive. It's so responsive and dynamic as you play. So yeah, honestly, Bias X is the closest that I've ever felt to playing an analog amp or analog effects without actually playing analog effects. And just to be able to have that access just all from within a plugin is just amazing. It honestly blows my mind. And then the addition of the AI assistant as well, it's just next level. So let's take a look here at the cab section. So here you've got sort of your cab, your speaker cone, and then you've got two mic options. You can choose between an SM57 emulation ribbon, a dynamic 421, and then a condenser microphone as well. And then you can sort of mix the two. See there, if you click it there, you've got position and distance. There's also the option here to load your own impulse responses. Then if you just hit load there, you can just load up any impulse response audio file that you have. Worth noting here, Positive Grid has partnered with an industry leader in impulse responses, Spectre Digital, to bring you some of the best and most sought after cabinets to Bias X. And then you've obviously got this massive massive array of effects to choose from as well. So as I said before, you've got dynamics, EQs, filters, pitch, boost, distortion, modulation options, delay, reverb. So everything that you need to craft the perfect sound. So I reckon this clean sort of ballady type tone would do well to have a nice reverb on there. So let's have a look. So it gives you all the options here and it tells you kind of what class it falls into. So you got your digital reverb here, spring reverb, lo-fi reverb, ambient reverb. Let's go for a spring reverb, see how that sounds. There's a reverb there. Let's say I wanted to add a bit of chorus as well, because this kind of tone, this kind of ballad tone often works well with a nice chorus. So I'm going to add a stereo chorus in there. Put it before the reverb. We've got some quite harsh transients there, so I'm just going to throw in a compressor. So it sounds a little bit muddy, so I can sort of clean that up with a nice EQ. And obviously with all these options, chances are you're going to find yourself kind of swamped with all these presets and all these different signal chains that you create. So you'll be very happy to know that saving presets is super easy in Bias X. Just head up here, hit this little button here, save as, and it'll bring up sort of whatever you want to call it. And there's also the option to put it in specific folders as well. So you can kind of be really organized about all the presets and all the signal chains that you create. So there you have it. Bias X is not just another guitar plugin, but it's also a massive library of amps, cabs, and effects, as well as an AI tone assistant, which is on hand whenever you need it to turn the idea that's in your head into the perfect tone in reality. So if you're ready to experience the incredible new power of Bias X, hit the link in the description below.